Okay, in this video, we're going to learn how to add and subtract complex numbers, okay? So first, let's consider adding complex numbers. Now, I want you to notice it says to add complex numbers, find the sum of the real components and the sum of the imaginary components. In other words, you combine like terms. So what I want to say to you is that an imaginary unit acts like a variable pretty much, okay? So for instance, if I wrote up here 2 plus 3x plus 4 minus 6x. Now this you did in math too. You put together 2 plus 4 and made 6, and then you put 3x minus 6x together and made that should be a minus 3x. So 3 minus 6 gave you a negative 3x, and you came up with 6 minus 3x. Okay? Imaginary numbers work the same way. So the first thing I'm going to do is put together the real number portions. That's these two. So 2 plus 4 gives me 6. Then I'm going to put together the imaginary part. That's this part here. So 3i minus 6i is negative 3i. And this would be your final answer right here, 6 minus 3i. Notice up here, 6 minus 3x, this is 6 minus 3i. So imaginary units act very similar to variables. Okay, let's look at one more. Actually, why don't you pause the video and try this one, and then come back and I'll work it. Okay, hopefully you pause the video and worked this one. And first you put together the real number part. So 4 plus 7 gives you 11. And then you put together the imaginary part. Okay, so negative 2i plus 10i is going to give you a plus, negative 2 plus 10, that's a positive 8i. And this would be your final answer. Okay, now let's consider subtracting complex numbers. Now this one's a little bit different only because we've got this minus in the front. So it's the same process. To subtract complex numbers, find the difference of the real components and the difference of the imaginary components. So I'm still looking at subtracting. So first, I'm going to subtract right here, this one here. But what you have to pay close attention to is this minus sign right here. Make sure you pay attention to that. So 9 minus 4 gives us 5. And then if I work on the imaginary part, that's 2i and 3i. But again, that's a minus in the middle. So 2i minus 3i, 2 minus 3 is a negative 1, so that's going to be minus I. So we'll get 5 minus I there. And that's your final answer. Okay? You guys try this one, pause the video, and come back and we'll see how you did on it. Okay? Let's do our real number part first. Here, 5. And remember, this is a minus right here. Okay, that's a minus. So 5 minus 2 is 3. And then if you look at your imaginary part, okay, that's 7 minus a negative. Since you have minus a negative, that's going to be plus. So 7 plus 3 is going to give you 10i. And this would be your answer for that one. Okay, if you have questions about adding and subtracting complex numbers, let me know.